Call to order the April 30th meeting of the Hammond Advisory Board of Zoning Appeals to order. Could we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Could we have a roll call, please?
Roger Brock.
Here.
William Hutton.
Here.
Cynthia Hassel. Here. Victor Lopez.
Here.
Kathleen Hill.
Here.
5 present. We have a quorum.
Could we have a motion to table the minutes for February 27th, 2024 till our next meeting?
I'd like to make that motion to table the minutes.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion, and a second. Do we need a roll call for this, or are we all right?
Nope, everything's wrong.
Roll call, please.
Roger Brock.
Yes.
William Hutton.
Yes.
Cynthia Hassel.
Yes.
Victor Lopez.
Yes.
Kathleen Hill.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed.
Do we have a motion in regard to the minutes for April 2nd, 2024?
I make that motion to go ahead and approve the minutes for April 2nd.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call vote, please.
Roger Brock.
Yes.
William Hutton.
Yes.
Cynthia Hassel.
Yes.
Victor Lopez.
Yes.
Kathleen Hill.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed.
Thank you. All right, no old business. Any old business since the agenda has been prepared?
There's no old business.
Okay, we will move to new business. They are both related. Is it all right with our members if I read them both together and then vote separately? Okay. Seeing head shake, we will do that. First item is Z-24-05A, petition of NH Vegas LLC for developmental variance from zoning ordinance title section 10.20 to allow a height up to 66 feet under in a C4 zoning district located at 930 Marine Drive in the city of Hammond. And the next item is Z-24-05B, petition of NH Vegas LLC for developmental variance from zoning ordinance 10.31 to allow a front yard setback of 20 feet in a C4 zoning district located at 930 Marina Drive in the city of Hammond. Have all notification requirements been met?
Yes, they have.
Okay. We have somebody who is presenting the case.
Yes, I am here.
And
Just
you're
one
signing
second,
in now.
please.
You want to state your name and address, please?
My name is Don Toringa. I'm with Toringa Engineering, and I am representing, as it says on the petition, NH Vegas LLC, who are the owners of the property, and in particular, the TPS Hotel. What we are asking for this evening is, do you want me to go into this?
Yes, you can
Okay.
tell us both cases, what you're asking in both, and then we can
Okay.
have questions on them, okay? But we will vote separately.
In your packets, you received a site plan of what we are proposing to do here. There was also an architectural rendering of the height of the building. The C4 general commercial district that this lies in allows for a maximum height of 40 feet for any building. This hotel is considerably higher, and we're asking for a variance from the 40 feet to 66 feet to allow them to build this 5-story hotel. In addition to that, this property is challenged because there's a large Commonwealth Edison easement, 120 feet wide, that runs along the side of the toll road, and it backs up to, it's on the back side of this property. The hotel, if we were to meet the 25-foot setback requirement for the C4 commercial district, it would overlap 5 feet onto the 120-foot wide Commonwealth Edison easement, or actually, that's not exactly true. There's another smaller easement, a 10-foot NIPSCO easement, that it would overlap onto. So what we are asking for is a variance from that setback from 25 feet to 20 feet. Now, if you're familiar with this area, it's in the very northwest corner of Hammond. And the area is building up very nicely, and we think that this hotel is a good fit, considering that the casinos are nearby. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might ask. I also have with me Dan Tersman, who is with NH Vegas.
Any questions?
Madam Chairman?
Yes.
Okay, just for the record, Mr. Taranga, it was stated that the building height is actually 65 feet, 7.5 inches.
That's right.
In your experience with construction, how often is there a deviation in a height dimension like that by something that occurs in the field?
Well, there's always a slight deviation. The deviation would be caused by perhaps the foundation isn't poured exactly correct. But in this particular case, knowing that they have a height variance that they have to meet, we asked for a little bit more. And I believe that they are cognizant of the fact that they need to meet that requirement. So I would think that there probably won't be much of a variance at all.
Well, I would like to think that's true also, but I'm just curious, I can't imagine that somebody measuring something to 7.5 inches, that would ever become exactly 7.5 inches, 7 3/4, 7 1/3, you know what, you know.
Say, that's a question that probably Mr. Hutton could answer better than me, because I'm not an architect. But, thank you, Bill. As far as the plans are concerned, they take the size of the wood, they take the size of the floors, and they add it all together, and they come up with a distance, and they came up with 65 feet,
Mr.
7.5
Foley, are you
inches.
suggesting it could be higher or lower?
I'm presenting evidence for the board to understand why there was a recommendation to raise this to 66 feet, to allow for those types of construction deviations that potentially can occur. You know, we all like to think everything is an exact science, but, you know, there is the reality of construction that there are these deviations that can occur for a variety of reasons. You know, not that anything is, you know, nefarious or evil in anything, in any reason to, you know, where a variation occurs, but it's just the practicality of construction, and something with such a narrow tolerance is really hard to achieve at 7.5 inches.
So what you have done as far as for the case, you've taken that into effect with the,
Say that again, I'm sorry.
for what is presented to us now, you have taken that into effect.
Which is why the wording is up to 66 feet.
Okay.
So they have the 4.5 inches difference to
Just in case,
deal with that, just in case.
because you're not going to go out and measure it.
Correct. Now, when it comes to the other variants, the tolerances, typically when you're doing survey work, you know, I would like to think that there's a little bit more exacting.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, well, I would expect that from Taranga.
Exactly.
that your markings in the grounds are exact. But the reality is there could be a potential variation just by, you know, the foundation got shifted over a quarter of an inch. But it comes down to me, my opinion, subject to people who think better than me, that the chances of a deviation would occur on the height before it would occur on the site plan issues.
What
I-
would be the effect as far as any of the easements, with as far as the building, any repairs, anything like that, or is that been?
No, that would, what he's talking about is just going up, and what he is saying is that going out, it's gonna be
Okay.
probably
I guess
exact,
I guess I sort of changed the topic.
yeah. I don't know the answer to that, Brian. All I can say is that I've managed to build a playhouse for my children one time, and it didn't fall down, and that's about all I know about building.
Okay.
I hate to make fun of it, but I really don't know the answer.
Well, I mean, that's fine, but anyway, nonetheless, just for the board's understanding, that's why it's up to 66 feet. And again, the setback variance, we typically don't give tolerances in that. That's not what we normally do.
The effect of the easement then, are the NIPSCO and the company notified that the setback will be done, or just in case something happens that way, or?
Well, I think in any construction person has an obligation to make sure that they have a proper survey to know where those easement lines are, and certainly that all they have to do is look up and see the power lines and know that they need to be careful of their equipment. And but I mean, I'm going to ask Mr. Tersman, do you typically notify utilities of when you're doing work adjacent to a utility easement?
We have someone else sign in and state your name, please.
Sure, absolutely. So
And address.
my name is Dan Tersman. I'm here on behalf of NH Vegas, the owner of the property. 1 second here, let me write my info. So the question was if from the construction standpoint, if the utilities are verified, and yes, they are. So we would typically, for one, when it comes to on the construction of a building, we would hire a surveyor to come out and stake out the property, stake out the corners, and that's where then everything from the excavation down to the installation of all the foundations and then the building goes up from there. Certainly, part of that process is also verifying that all of the utilities are where the plans indicate that they are. We do have, well, again, we are the owner of the property. We did construct the gas station and car wash facility directly adjacent to this. That was part of the original parent parcel. So we are very familiar with where the utilities are, and so feel confident that that the utilities are where they are indicated on the drawings. So, as Mr. Poland indicated, there will be some special care that will need to be taken during the construction, just utilizing equipment, cranes, and things like that to make sure that the proper clearances are maintained. We had to do some similar accommodations when we built some of the other facilities out there, such as the Ross buildings also has some power lines that are within an easement but also close. So we had to make the proper notifications to the utility providers to make sure that those lines were made safe prior to the construction process. So.
And,
As far as the height, that goes, I think in general that the framing should be fairly accurate and consistent with the plans. I think some of that variation when it comes to the height can happen with grade, changes in grade adjacent to the building and that. So it depends on, what you're measuring from. So I think that's where some flexibility is helpful, as well as, architectural plans typically show dimensions to the frame of the building or the structure of the building. So sometimes with the finishes, when they put a parapet cap on or, put the blocking that's needed for that, that may create some variation by, an inch or two. So, so I think that's where that is useful.
Okay, and I just want to also add on about the easements, you know. So on the back side of the building, there is that large NIPSCO and ComEd easement, but, you know, it goes right to the building, but, you know, according to the site plans, the overhead line, I believe from NIPSCO's, you know, more than 10 feet away from the building. So hopefully, you know, probably more than 15 even. And then on the front side of the building with the 20-foot setback, so that setback ends right before the utility easement there, but that utility easement in front is for underground AT&T line.
Correct.
So, just so we're clear.
Yes, it is. That's correct. And as far as the positioning of the building is concerned, the 20 feet, that is it appears to be a 5-foot wide by maybe 10 feet wide by maybe 5-foot deep entrance that is off of that side of the hotel out towards Marina Drive. And that's the reason that the building actually is closer than 25 feet to the property line.
Right, and so just, Tom, we discussed, what was the percentage of that encroachment?
So the facade of that wall, that furthest eastern wall, it was only, I believe, 6%, 5.94% of the, you know, total facade of that side.
Of the facade, 5 point, but,
Yeah.
so it is recognized in our documentation that the encroach, or the reduction is because of a small portion of the building.
Yeah, it's
Thank
10
you.
feet wide, you're correct. And it only goes up about 14 feet or 15 feet. So.
Right.
Another question?
I do. If I may ask, Mr. Poland, 3 floors to 5 floors, you know, I understand the math, I get it. But how many rooms are on a 3-floor hotel?
I think that's on their drawing.
You
Not
you guys
exactly
indicate
sure.
102 rooms for the 5-story.
Okay.
You're indicating 3-story.
For a 3-story building, how many rooms?
Per floor?
Of course, I think it always depends on the plant, you know, because you can, I think in this case, again, given the restrictions to the, that we just discussed with both the, you know, the frontage or the setback on the front, on the one side, and then the easement on the other side, restricts our footprint. So that's what's kind of requiring the additional height that's needed.
As far as the answer to your
So-
question, Mr. Hutton, the math would lead you to believe it's 60.
So we're
For a 3-story
60
building.
rooms and we jump up to 102 rooms.
102. That is correct.
And the ordinance says 40 feet and we're jumping up to 60,
65 feet, 7.5
Well,
inches.
66.
so that's a 60% increase in height. So my last question is, I'm just talking, my last question is, do we have enough parking spaces for these 102 rooms?
The parking is 1 space per
Thank you.
room.
Thank you very much.
And there is enough.
And there are some additional spaces for employees, yes.
I'm sorry, say that again?
And I said there are some additional spaces for
Okay.
employees.
Okay,
Yeah, so there's over 102.
thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Anything else you'd like to add? We ready to
I
go?
don't think so, no.
Okay, we will move then to public expression. Anyone in the public or online that would like to speak for or against? Anyone online or in the audience that would like to speak? Hearing none, we will close this period of public expression. Any other questions from board members? We will move to the staff report for Z-24-05, for the developmental variance to increase the height up to 66 feet.
Okay, I'm just going to read the staff recommendation portion. So staff has reviewed the petitioner's request and recommends that the BZA grant the developmental variance. Should the board view the petitioner has met the standards subject to 1, approval of developmental variance case number Z-24-05B. And 2, the final technical review of site and civil plans, including signage by city staff.
All right. And we have no amendments. We do have as far as proposed findings of fact. Do we have any comments from any members? Hearing none, do we have a motion to adopt the staff report and the proposed findings of fact presented?
I'll make that
The
motion.
Official findings of fact.
Yes,
Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Cynthia Hassel,
Yes.
Victor Lopez,
Yes.
Roger Brock,
Yes,
William Hutton,
Yes.
Kathleen Hill,
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, motion passed.
Do we have a motion in regard to the D-24-05 Parengs A for the developmental variance? We have a motion to approve or deny with the variance with the recommendations by the staff, and including the recommendations.
I'll make that motion to approve, provided they provide the standards provided by the staff.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Cynthia Hassel,
Yes.
Victor Lopez,
Yes.
Roger Brock,
Yes,
William Hutton,
Yes.
Kathleen Hill,
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, motion passed.
One step on. We'll move to Z-24-05B. Could we have a staff report
Yeah,
in
likewise.
regard to the redevelopmental variance in regard to reducing the front yard setback of 20 feet?
Yeah, so likewise, I'll read the recommendation. Staff has reviewed the petitioner's request and recommends that the BZA grant the developmental variance. Should the board feel the petitioner has met the standards subject to 1, approval of developmental variance case number Z-24-05A, 2, continue compliance with the terms of the 20-foot wide utility easement which runs parallel and adjacent to the east property line into Marina Drive, and 3, the final technical review of site civil plans, including a plan schedule by city staff.
Okay, we also have, as far as proposed findings of fact, anybody have any questions or comments? Any members? Hearing none, do we have a motion to adopt the staff report with its recommendation and the findings of fact as prepared by the staff into the record?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote, please.
Cynthia Hassel,
Yes.
Victor Lopez,
Yes.
Roger Brock,
Yes,
William Hutton,
Yes.
Kathleen Hill,
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, motion passed.
Do we have a motion in regard to Z-24-05B as far as recommending or denying the conditional use developmental variance with as far as also including the recommendations from the staff and our findings of fact? Do we have a motion to approve or deny?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, with the recommendations also from the
Yes,
staff.
with the
Okay.
recommendation.
second.
We have a motion and a second. Could we have a roll call vote?
Cynthia Hassel,
Yes.
Victor Lopez,
Yes.
Roger Brown,
Yes.
William Hutton,
Yes.
Kathleen Hill,
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, motion passed.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. When do you hope to begin?
ASAP.
I'm sure.
As soon as possible. Do you have any comments from the commissioners? Any staff comments?
Just to advise you that we will have cases before the next meeting at the end of May. We had agreed at the beginning of the year to change the date of the May meeting to the Wednesday, which would be the Wednesday after Memorial Day.
29.
I will trust that that is the correct date from the calendar. 29th, yes. And so just be aware of that. And like I said, we will have a couple of things are coming before the board at that time.
We don't have a council meeting right
I'm sorry?
We don't have a council meeting, but it will be in here.
Based on the information that I was provided today, that the council meeting would normally meet on Monday, which is Memorial Day,
Okay.
and they are going to Tuesday.
Okay.
So therefore, we
We have
and
Wednesday.
we went to Wednesday, so we're good.
Okay. Any public comment? In-house or online? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Okay, we'll let you go on that.
All right.
Eyes all is fine.
There's an exception.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Don't forget, we have